Hello and welcome back, you guys. I am almost at 200 subscribers, so if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. I know that seems like a very small number, but I keep telling myself if I had 200 people in this house, I'd be very overwhelmed. So that's a good way to kind of position things. Now, today I want to talk about if you're interviewing ad agencies for your med spa. These are the 20, actually, I don't know if I'm going to do all 20. It's going to take me forever. But these are the major red flags that will save you thousands of dollars. The questions that you need to ask, the things you need to pay attention to, the things you need to be aware of. I really want to put this in front of you guys because I have found, as I'm just scrolling, that there are a lot of agencies out there that are using AI models in their video ads that are calling out med spa owners, and they're saying, we can get you 30 leads in 2 weeks if you hire us, or your money back guaranteed. But they don't tell you any of the stipulations. They're not even showing you the person that you're actually going to be working with, because the person that they use in their ads is AI. It's just not authentic. It's just not trustworthy. And I see a lot of people commenting on these ads, and it's very frustrating because I'm like, I have been running ads for med spas for the last 6 years, and our ads results are really good. But the problem is, as an ad agency, you got to have the money to pump into ads, and these agencies do. Obviously, I'm a small boutique agency. I have 3 people on staff. And I run, obviously I run my business, but I also have a family, so I can't be working, 24/7. And that's kind of like the reality. And a lot of times these agencies, they have a lot of people on their staff. You're going to be working with a lot of different people. You're going to get passed off from ads rep to ads rep. It's just going to be very inauthentic, and it's not going to be a great, experience. And it can leave you not only burned for agencies, but it can leave you wasting and burning a lot of money and not getting that ROI that you're hoping to get. Okay, so as always, like I said, I'm a mom of 4. There's definitely background noise. I don't like to edit my YouTube videos. I like to keep things as authentic as possible and as real as possible, because that is where we're at. And I think that's done really well on TikTok, and it seems to do pretty well on YouTube as well. So let's get into a couple of these. Now, I actually put this in a caption on my Instagram yesterday, a couple of these. And the main ones that I started with, and I'm actually just going to pull up that caption really quick so I can go back to it. Let me see if I can find it here. And if you're not following me on Instagram, please do. My Instagram is Bella Social Marketing or Carolyn Grace Hefner. I have 2 accounts there. But mainly the biggest red flag is going to be, okay, so I'm going to go over a couple, right? Number 1 is going to be, they haven't asked you how you're currently bringing patients into your funnel, and they haven't asked you who's handling the follow-up process. So that's the first thing. When you're on the phone with your agency that you're looking to hire, they should be asking, okay, tell me about your funnel. Walk me through your process. How do clients find you? How do they book with you? Are they calling? Are they booking online? Are they doing a mix of both? Are they DMing you, right? That should be a question. And then the next question, the follow-up question for that is, once they reach out, how quickly are you getting back to them? And how promptly, and who's doing it, right? Do you have a receptionist doing it? Do you have a specific client manager, a success manager doing it, right? Client experience manager doing it? Who is handling the follow-ups with your prospects and turning those prospects into paid patients or clients, okay? Who's putting them basically on the schedule? And then the other thing is, once they've scheduled, once they've gone through, once they've bought from you once, right? If it's like filler, Botox, medical weight loss, whatever it is, who's following up with them to book them again, right? Are you booking them right in office? Are you booking them after via text, right? So those are all questions not only that you should be thinking about, but that your ad agencies should know. The second question is, and I will, this is a hill I'll die on. You need to ask them if they've been able to get results for their clients without running flash sales or discounting services, okay? Because if they try to get around this question, or if they just straight up say no, you should go search for another agency, because this one is going to cost you money. Because if your agency is forcing you to do discount, if your agency is asking you to discount every single price that you have, every single service that you have, it's going to cost you money. and it's going to bring in low quality clients. Okay, so if they haven't figured out how to build a funnel on trust versus how to just run ads to flash sales, you're going to probably want to try to find a different agency. If you've asked for them to provide creative and all they provided was stock photos, this is pretty self-explanatory, but I have found that these agencies tend to lean into AI, which looks very stock photo. It looks very inauthentic. And yes, like, of course you can use AI. It tends to come off as inauthentic, and you want people to be connecting with you. You want people to be trusting you because you're asking them to trust you with their bodies, right? It's something that is very vulnerable to them. It's something that is very obviously important to them, the way they look, the way they carry themselves, their confidence, right? So if the first touch point they have with you is an AI touch point, it's not going to be a seamless transition from first view of you to booking, okay? If they don't create ads for each stage of the funnel, this is huge, right? So if they're just creating ads for the book now stage of the funnel, again, like flash sales, discounts, sales, that's a red flag. That's not going to lead to results. And we want results, right? We want booked appointments. We want client retention. If all they do is say, okay, like we want to post these ads and they're all like book now ads, there's no point where you're like building trust, nurturing, educating, connecting, relating to these patients, that's a problem. Okay. And again, like that one in and of itself will cost you thousands of dollars if you don't have like a pretty extensive funnel set up. And if they're just running random ads and not doing any retargeting, that's another thing. So I would say, like, how is retargeting part of your process? Okay. So those are some questions right there. And I'm going to go through a couple others. Hold on, because I have my whole list here. Another big one. Can they explain Meta's ad compliance for medical spas? Okay. If the creatives they show you have before and after side by side, you know that they don't know the Facebook's compliance or Meta ad compliance, and maybe they do or they just don't care. That's going to cost you. It could cost you your ad account, and then you never be able to run ads again, right? If they're not proactively talking about the before and after limitations, the weight loss and body language rules, medical claims, things like that, you're literally one rejected ad away from a disabled account. And again, that's going to prevent you from running ads in the future. That's a major problem. Another thing, you can ask them, are you building traffic campaigns or are you building lead campaigns? Okay. So obviously sending people to your website for awareness and to trust building and get them to like be aware of who you are, that's great at the top of the funnel. But if they're doing that at the bottom of the funnel, that's a problem, right? Instead of capturing their intent, that's just basically setting your money on fire. So here's the thing, what they should be doing is leading people through the funnel, right? Getting them aware of who you are by, video views, traffic campaigns, engagement campaigns, and then at the bottom of the funnel, they should be running sales campaigns or lead gen campaigns, because those objectives, basically what Facebook does, Facebook is going to show your ads to people that are most likely to take action on those ads. So again, if you're just having people go to the website at the top of the funnel, that's fine. That's awareness. Those are cheap clicks. Those are cheap leads, or those are cheap views. At the bottom of the funnel, you should be running ads with the objective of purchases, sales, lead generation, bookings, things like that, because that's where the revenue is going to come in. Okay. Another big thing is if they take ownership of your ad account, you want to make sure that you add them as a partner and not as an owner, right? Or as, obviously you can add them as an admin, but you need to stay admin. And if they don't let you see your ads in the ad account, that is a major red flag. Okay. You own your own data. You own the audiences that you have in there. That's a big red flag. If they basically just come in and take over your account, you want to have and own access to all of that stuff. You don't want partial access. You want full access, and you can give them basic access, or you can give them partner access. When we come into our clients' accounts, we have them add us as a partner. That way it's easy to remove if for some reason it doesn't work out, if the vibes are not vibing. But if it does, obviously nothing is affected. If they can't explain, this is another one. If you've been running ads for 60 days, 90 days, and they can't explain why you haven't had any bookings or why it's not working or why they're only bringing in low quality leads, why the people who have booked are costing you money. It's just numbers without a lot of insight, right? It sounds like they're probably guessing, and they're kind of hoping that you're not going to micromanage them or ask questions. But the thing is, this is your hard-earned money. And this is something I like, again, another hill I'll die on, but when my clients are investing in our agency and investing in our ad strategy, I take their investment very seriously because I know how hard it is these days to earn money, okay? I know how much of a struggle it can be to earn money, and I take their investment very seriously. So if the agency that you hire doesn't take the investment that you're making very seriously, or they seem kind of poo-poo your questions, or kind of once you're signed on, they don't fully give you the time of day, that's a problem, and that's something that you should watch out for on the call. Okay, and I would even ask that question, like, what does the process look like after we're onboarded, after we're hired? How often are you touching base? How often are you giving our results? How often are we aware of like if the ads are working, right? These are all questions to ask. Okay, so if they don't ask about your existing patient list, right? Because ideally you want to create warm audiences and lookalike audiences for retargeting purposes. That's a problem. So they should ask for your existing patient list, so that then you can upload it into your ads manager and then target those people, but also you can target people that look just like that list as well. I talk about this one all the time, and I've mentioned it already in this video, but any agency that's on an ad guaranteeing that you're going to get 30 bookings in 30 days, and they have no idea what the systems on the back end look like, they're just lying to you, okay? They just are lying to you. They have not seen your systems. If they haven't asked what your systems look like, if they haven't asked what your follow-up process is, what your funnel process is, that's just a flat-out lie. And a lot of times they are gimmicks to get people to sign on and to comment on their ads. But again, they have to see your systems before they can actually make any sort of promise or guarantee. And if they do make a guarantee, that's also a question, because again, like, you don't know how the ads are going to perform. Okay, a couple other things. I know I said I'm not going to do 20, but I have a lot here. So I'm trying to figure out what to use and what not to say, because I have just so much. Another thing that I give my clients when they sign on, because we have a proven ads funnel, I give all of my clients video scripts, so basically like advice and guidance on how to film, what to say, how to build trust on camera. If you don't do these things, if an agency doesn't do this for you, if they don't already look through your content and say, okay, like, we can use XYZ pieces of content, that's a red flag. Again, that could cost you a lot of money if you're struggling to build trust on camera. I have had clients in the past who were really awkward on camera, and it just did not do well for their ads. It was a struggle. A lot of times we had to ask other people to get involved. I had to go down there to like film and direct, which is fine. But that's something that you should practice. You should practice getting comfortable speaking on camera and just acting like, you're talking to a patient. Another thing is if they're ignoring the local market, right? So a lot of times these agencies do not live anywhere near you, and they have no interest in like who your competitors are. Each agency that hires you should be doing a local competitor analysis to see who's around, to see, what their websites look like, what their Google reviews look like, all of that. They should be paying attention, because what works in Miami might fail in a suburban rural market if they don't adjust their messaging, if they don't adjust expectations, if they don't adjust for the level of education. Because I've had this happen where we ran ads for a medical weight loss clinic in Florida in a bigger city, and then I ran some ads in a rural area. I tried to do very similar ads, and it just flopped in the rural area, because there was education that had to happen around PRP and HRT, because in smaller areas, you're not as aware of these more holistic means of health and wellness as much as you would be in a bigger city. You're just more aware of it because there's more options in a bigger city. If they can't articulate why someone should choose you, why they see you as special, why they see you as the destination, they're going to default to basically running flash sales and discounts, okay? Not only should you be able to articulate that, but they should be able to articulate that. Maybe not on the first call, but after a certain amount of time, they should be able to articulate why people should choose you over another provider in your area. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's, another thing that I wanted to mention is they should ask about, slow months, right? How long is their testing phase going to last? What are your slow seasons typically? What do you push on certain seasons, right? So like laser tends to be the fall, versus like the summer, or like Valentine's Day obviously tends to be like lip fillers, right? So these are things you should talk about on that first call. And then finally, this is like the last really important thing, but again, I said I was going to do 20. I don't even know what I'm up to right now. I'm going to have like the AI do a transcript of this so I can go over all the things that I cover in this. But if they've never worked or run ads for a Medspa business, if they've never dealt with like provider schedules, treatment timelines, patient objections, how to actually show client transformations without doing a before and after side by side, they're going to make decisions that actually look good on paper but fail in practice. Again, so if an agency can't clearly connect ads to convert conversations to consults to retain patients, they're basically just experimenting with your money, and that's a problem. Okay, so ultimately, that's my list for how to save thousands when you're interviewing ad agencies. And if you want to work with our boutique ads agency, we are only taking on 2 more clients between now, January, and March 15th, because I am expecting my 5th baby. And March 15th is the last date, because that's when we're going to really start to like ramp up campaigns. Like let's say you sign on at the end of February. It takes about 2 weeks to get you onboarded, and then it takes about 30 to 45 days to start to see real results with your ads, because there is like a little bit of a testing phase. So that gives us more than enough time before I give birth. And also I have a team, and they'll be in touch with all of my clients. They've gone through 2 maternity leaves with me, and they are fully aware of like what it takes and getting involved, and getting in touch with clients and making sure that the momentum stays, moving in the right direction while I am obviously tending to myself and a newborn. Let me know if you guys have any questions, if there's anything else that you guys want to chat about, if you have any, if you've had issues or experiences with any of these agencies, let me know in the comments. I'd love to take a look and answer some of your questions or comments, and I'll talk to you guys really soon.